Nathan here, welcome to the last video of the Flat Paddle series. And in this video, I like to take a look back at the series and discuss the programmer's perspective and the content producer's perspective. So the very first video of a series, I like to have a series introduction that lists what the plans are for the series, what the topics will be covered, how many tutorials there will be, and so on and so on. At the very end, I like to take a look back and see how the structure was, what I think of the programming, any room for improvement on future series, and stuff like that. So this is usually a very quick video. First thing I want to talk about is the programmer's perspective. So for the flat paddles, we utilized the PGL2D game library, and once we were utilizing that, we were able to make our flat paddles game extremely short. A lot of the stuff was handled through the PGL2D library, like the input system and the screen system. We were able to use the event-driven design in the PGL2D to update our text and make sure, just get everything working fine with usually with the text on change and text updated events. And with the screens, we had it was a accept input screen, and that provided the available inputs, the keys that you have actually pressed, and that way we only need to look at the keys that were pressed. We don't have to worry about or bother with the dozens of other keys that were not pressed. So the programmer's perspective, this I think is a very good design and a good thing going forward. I don't see many issues with the coding. It did give me some ideas on how to improve on the PGL2D for a new alpha build or possibly the first beta build. Other than that, I think the programmer's perspective is good. The content producer's perspective. The last series, it was a gamble and it didn't pay off. My plan was for the last series, which was the PGL2D series, was to have one video per class, per .cs file, even interface and even enumerations. So it was just one video, and on top of that, each video I say, "Hey, Nathan here, welcome to a new video, blah, 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 blah." And at the end I say, "Well, thanks for watching, I hope you enjoy this, blah, blah, blah." So the actual content was not very much. A lot of those videos were a couple minutes, and I know going forward not to do that. So for this series, I recorded it with having it in one video in mind. I didn't do it all in one session. I recorded, the first half of it, and then I had to take a few days break and then recorded the second half of it. But it was all recorded with one video in mind. That is why, if I open one of these, that is why at the beginning I have a kind of a video overlay. And I have to do that after the fact. The actual tutorial content is this part. This isn't actually part of the recording session for the tutorial. So once the tutorial was done, I had to go back and do this video overlay. And that is also why at the end, I had to have like a generic outro. So for the content producer's perspective, this is much better than the PGL2D videos. I was able to group a lot of small files together and a lot of similar content together into a single tutorial. And my goal from now going forward will be to, with the occasional exception, the tutorials will only be 10 minutes or longer. Now, 9 minutes and 56 seconds, that is, I didn't want to cut halfway through of a class, and I didn't want to extend that and make these shorter. So, 4 seconds less than 10 minutes, yeah, I'll allow that. But I would not allow like 7 minutes or 5 minutes or that kind of thing going forward. Now, that's for series like this. If it's something that I need to answer a question about, like how do I use this C# operator, and it takes me 5 minutes to cover that. I don't want to waste 5 minutes of time and maybe repeat myself 20 times. But that is separate. That's a single tutorial, its own thing. It's not part of a series, ongoing series. It's just a random piece of information I'm providing. But for series like these, and for the PGL2D series and ongoing series, I'm going to plan on 10 minutes or less, or 10 minutes or more. Not less than 10 minutes. So that will be the guarantee. 4 seconds less than 10 minutes. Yeah, it's close enough to 10 minutes where I will allow this kind of video. But if it was 8 minutes, I wouldn't have allowed it. So just going forward, keep that in mind. You'll probably see a lot of 40-minute, 20-minute, 50-minute videos. There might even be videos that go past an hour at some point. All right, so that was the programmer's perspective and the content producer's perspective. All right, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next series.